Good morning, everyone. Please be seated. So we welcome you to the 2017 commencement. I'm going to add my own reminder to everyone to please take a moment, and if you don't want to turn your cell phones off, please put them on that quiet thing. Members of the commencement chorale will now do a call to celebrate and sing "Come, Ye Children of Art." Good morning again, and hallelujah. What a beautiful, non-rainy day we have to celebrate the accomplishments of our graduating class of 2017. As we all know, our graduates did not get here on their own, and behind each and every one of them, behind each and every one of you, stands family and friends and mentors, and many of you are here today. So I'm going to ask the graduates if you would rise and turn toward your guests and give them a rousing ovation for the help and the guidance they have provided you. And you can wave back. I want to add a few thank yous before we get going. Two of our longest serving faculty members, Dr. Dean Tucker and Dr. Irwin Ray, will be retiring this year. These gentlemen have served the university with distinction for well over 60 years collectively. And I'm not sure how we will ever get through a commencement without the support of the fabulous Dr. Ray, who conducts our chorale and today's orchestra. So would you please join me in thanking both Dr. Tucker and Dr. Ray. We have two other retirements. David Bice, accompanist, artist in residence, and assistant director of the Oglethorpe University Singers, is retiring after 13 years of making beautiful music alongside Dr. Ray. And Ann Salter, our university librarian, will be retiring this summer after 14 extraordinary years of service. We will miss you both, and please join me in expressing our deep appreciation to Mr. Bice and Ms. Salter. We also have some trustees I would like to thank for their years of service and dedication to the university. Trustee Tom O'Connor, who's celebrating his 50th year since he's graduated, will be moving to emeritus status after a decade of service. And our board chair for the last 3 years, Suri Eberly, is completing her term as chair. And Tim Tasopoulos, who you will hear from in a minute, class of 1981, begins his term as chair today. And I could not be more excited to welcome to our commencement our honorary degree candidate and speaker for today, Comer Yates. Comer's an extraordinary person, a champion of education and literacy for all children across our state and our country. And a special welcome today to Comer's wife, Sally. I suspect Sally is happy to be with us and not somewhere else today. Comer and Sally are one of Atlanta's great power couples. And by power, I mean not the power of the purse or power of the lofty positions they have held, but the power of their voices. They stand up for what is right, for what is just, and not for what is expedient. Thank you both for being with us today. And finally, as always, a big thank you to our Chancellor, Dr. Manning Patillo. Always wonderful to have you with us, Manning. "42 years ago, I sat in your seat. I can't tell you how hard that is for me to believe. And if my memory serves me well, it was a bit of an overcast day. It may have even rained on our parade a bit, although it didn't matter. Our commencement speaker was Michael Dukakis, who served 3 terms as governor of Massachusetts and went on to run for the presidency of the United States in 1988. He didn't win. And to tell you the truth, I actually had to look up online who the speaker was that day. Although once my memory was jogged, it came back to me a little. But this is what I do remember about that day. I felt a tremendous sense of loss alongside that sense of accomplishment in saying goodbye to a community that I had been part of for 4 years, and especially in saying goodbye to the dear friends I had made over those 4 years. I was a college athlete back then, and my closest friends were my team members, were my teammates. There were 8 of us that had come in together as first-year students, and all 8 of us were graduating together that day. We'd experienced our fair share of disappointment over those years and a reasonable amount of success. But through it all, we grew up together. We literally went from boys to men. And while we pledged that day to stay in touch after commencement, I'm not sure any of us had great confidence that we would. We were scattering across the country. We had no idea what was to come of us individually or come of us together. So I now can look back 42 years, and so much has happened in our lives. We've been blessed with long careers, doctors and lawyers and engineers and educators. There have been marriages, there have been divorces, there have been children, there have now been grandchildren. Our parents, who had really become a traveling fan club for all of us over those 4 years, whom we all came to know so well, have almost all passed away. There have been times of good health and times of sickness, and lately we've begun to see retirements. But with all those years, 42 of them, we have remained friends, all 8 of us. It's impossible to know what the future holds in store for each of you. One thing I know for certain is that very little is certain. But what can last, what can persist, what can sustain you are the relationships that you have built at Oglethorpe with faculty, with staff, and with your fellow students. So I urge you to cherish them and to sustain them. We will proceed with our ceremony of commencement. I will call on our chair of our Board of Trustees, Tim Tosopoulos.
Thank you, Dr. Shaw. Good morning. Good morning. As chair of the board and a graduate of Oglethorpe University, it's an honor and a privilege to be here with all of you today. And most importantly, graduates, on behalf of my fellow trustees, let us be one of the first to acknowledge you as you graduate. You've learned much, you've worked hard, you've served each other in the community. I bet you've had a lot of fun along the way too. So, on behalf of all of us, let us say congratulations to each one of you. Congratulations, well done. So graduates, I had my initial experience at Oglethorpe 40 years ago and started like perhaps many of you as a 17-year-old, eager, anxious, driving through the front entrance, seeing the picturesque Gothic campus. But that was 1977. It was a little different then from today. We wore bell-bottoms. Our president was a peanut farmer from Georgia. And the big movie of the year was the original Star Wars, not the upcoming 8th sequel film. So things were different. Atlanta was about 2 million people. The traffic was a lot better. But things have changed over those 40 years. We now are in a city of 6 million people, and Oglethorpe's changed. New classrooms, new dorms, a new student center with a Starbucks. So much has changed, but yet I think one of the greatest benefits of your Oglethorpe education is what hasn't changed over those 40 years. Graduates, you've had outstanding faculty. You've had competitive athletics, world-class arts, community service. In fact, Oglethorpe 40 years ago was described by Manning Patillo, president then, as a small college superlatively good. 40 years later, it is still a small college, superlatively good, and it fits that description even more so today. So congratulations on your accomplishment. You've completed a rigorous course of study. Now I want you to remember something very important. What you've done is only accomplished by 3 out of 10 adults in the United States. Just over 3 out of 10 have a 4-year college degree. So well done. And your parents, your friends, your family, they're proud of you. So they'll want to take a lot of pictures the rest of the day, and that's okay. So I do want to leave you with some words of advice. So as I look back over 40 years, I think about what I've learned from lots of mistakes, lots of missed opportunities, an occasional touch of success, and I want to share it with you. Here's tip number 1. Keep learning. You may have already completed your last formal academic class that you'll ever take, or you may be headed to grad school or working on your PhD, but never stop learning. Be a true lifelong learner. You'll be happier, you'll be better informed, you'll make a better spouse, friend, and colleague if you say, I don't have all the answers. I'm still learning. So keep learning. Tip number 2, work hard. If I've learned anything over 40 years, especially the chance to start as an hourly team member at Chick-fil-A in a restaurant, learning from my owner-operator and from a role model for me, Truett Cathy, the founder of Chick-fil-A, it's hard work matters. So do your best, whether you're going to be in education or healthcare, ministry, the arts, work hard. And tip number 3 is give back. You've learned this at Oglethorpe. You're not here by yourself. So give of your time, give of your talent, give of your financial resources. In essence, give of yourself. So give back. So keep learning, work hard, give back. Why? Because if you do, you'll actually be putting into practice the best of what you've learned at Oglethorpe. Because if you keep learning, that's how you make a life. If you work hard, that's the best way to make a living. And if you give back, you'll make a difference. So graduates, do go forth. Make a life, make a living, make a difference. And on behalf of all of us that are here, the members of the Oglethorpe community, we say again, congratulations, all our best, and very well done.
Thank you, Tim. It's my pleasure to begin the presentation of 2 special awards made at commencement to graduating seniors. I will call on our provost, Dr. Glenn Scharfman, to come forward to present the Sally Hall Weltner Award for Scholarship and the James Edward Oglethorpe Awards.
Thank you, President Shaw. I'm pleased to extend a warm welcome to our visitors and guests today as we gather to honor the achievements of our graduates, the class of 2017. The Sally Hall Weltner Award is given annually in loving memory of Sally Hall Weltner, wife of Dr. Philip Weltner, who was the president of Oglethorpe from 1944 to 1953. He's also the person who brought the idea of the core to Oglethorpe 70 years ago, so let's give a round of applause for that. You'll love it. The award honors the student in the graduating class who has attained the highest level of scholastic achievement at Oglethorpe with the greatest number of hours in coursework completed. I am pleased to present the Sally Hall Weltner Award to Abigail Taylor Kreisinger. And if I can invite her to come up. Second award. The James Edward Oglethorpe Awards are presented to 2 students in the senior class who, in the opinion of the faculty, realize most fully the aims of an Oglethorpe education in terms of scholarship, leadership, and character. I am pleased to present this year's James Edward Oglethorpe Awards to Catherine Keegan Carey and Kelly Marie Jacobson.
Congratulations of each of you, Abigail, Catherine, and Kelly. We recognize at commencement the outstanding work of 2 of our faculty members each year. These awards are selected by a committee of students, previous faculty award winners, and alumni members. Dr. Robert Hornback, last year's recipient of the Lou Thomason Garrett Award for Meritorious Teaching, will present this year's winner.
The Lou Thomason Garrett Award for Meritorious Teaching was established in 1994 through a generous endowment gift to the university from the late Lou Garrett and her husband David Garrett. Mrs. Garrett was an Oglethorpe University alumna, class of 1952, member emerita of the Board of Trustees, and Oglethorpe University Honorary degree recipient in 1994. This award provides a cash prize. The best professors are passionate about their subject, and this year's winner is no exception. A student commented, "You can really tell when a professor loves what he or she does," before calling this one very passionate. The best teachers care about their students. Of this one, a colleague remarks, "As a division, we all agree that no professor shows more concern about the students." Students themselves frequently observe that this teacher truly cares about the students. Described as knowledgeable, wise, a master, a wonderful professor, and my favorite professor without contest, this teacher stands out for seasoning courses described as hard and about difficult material with high energy, dry wit, and a wry sense of humor. Fellow professors appreciate his unshakable collegiality and promotion of excellent teaching at Oglethorpe. Finally, one student perhaps best describes his teaching. "This course changed my life, as it showed me how economics affect every aspect of life. Thank you for the wise words and the dry wit." This year's award is presented to Dr. Peter Cower. He was unable to be here today, so we accept this award in absentia. Thank you.
Thank you, Bob, and congratulations to Peter. I now call on the previous recipient of the Vulcan's Materials Teaching Excellence and Leadership Award, Dr. Jay Lutz, to present this year's award.
We faculty all wear many hats here at Oglethorpe, the chief one being, of course, teaching. The 2017 recipient of the Vulcan Materials Company Award for Teaching Excellence and Leadership wears this cap very successfully. As one of the college students writes in an evaluation, "Our class was fun, but also challenging. This is an easygoing and helpful professor who really cares about the improvement of the students. It was my favorite class this semester. I would recommend this class to anyone because it is a great experience." The Vulcan recipient, as so many of us, also wears the core hat. having recently created an entirely new core class passed by the faculty at our final meeting of the semester. The chair of the colleagues division praises the rigor and elegance of a revision of the major and minor crafted by this colleague and also recently passed by the faculty. This colleague, however, has a few hats to wear that are exceptional and out of the ordinary for Oglethorpe, including being in charge of a and extracurricular program closely tied to academics with outreach to the wider general public. The administration of this program has been faced with particularly difficult challenges in the last few years, to which our recipient has responded with skill, making good use of contacts beyond the Oglethorpe community. In addition, this colleague also manages to wear yet another hat, that of his own professional and artistic activity, including an upcoming performance at the Alliance Theater this coming Monday evening. It therefore gives me great pleasure to present the 2017 Vulcan Materials Company Award for Teaching Excellence and Leadership to Matt Huff, Associate Professor of Theater.
Thank you, Jay, and congratulations, Matt. He's wearing those sunglasses pretty good, huh? It's an Oglethorpe custom to have the president of SGA, our Student Government Association, recognize our Golden Petrels. This year, I'd like to call on Chris Fernandez to do this honor. Chris recently received the Algernon Sidney Sullivan Award, which recognizes a graduating senior who has put service above self. He has also exemplified such humble leadership in many roles and has been a real pleasure to work with. He's graduating with a major in communication and rhetoric studies and a minor in business administration with a public health concentration. Chris?
Good morning. I'm honored today to pay tribute to a group of special guests who are seated to my left. On this occasion, we are pleased to induct the special group of alumni into the Golden Petrel Society, Oglethorpe graduates who have graced our classrooms 50 or more years ago. It has been said that alumni are the keepers of campus traditions and the conscience of the institution. Our Golden Petrels clearly embody our proud Oglethorpe spirit and are exceptional representatives of our great institution. They evoke both our historic roots and our aspirations for the future. As seniors, we look to all that the Golden Petrels have accomplished in their lives as we embark upon similar journeys that you began over 50 years ago. We hope that your presence will inspire our senior class to have confidence in what they have learned at Oglethorpe and that they will also strive for excellence in their lives and careers as Oglethorpe graduates have done for over 175 years. We are grateful for your continued involvement in the university, and we are proud that of all that you have achieved. Will our Golden Petrels please stand, if able, to be recognized? And please continue standing as I read your names. Linda Roebuck Hoffman, class of 1958. Charlotte Shira Steed Moon, class of 1962. Errol Leifer, class of 1964. And celebrating their 50th reunion, the following members of the class of 1967. Leila McGee Adair, Sandra Abbott Allen, Martha Eldred Church, John A. Dobbs, George Ronald Fannin, Robert H. Amrick Jr., Alice Hill Hughes, Stuart Levinson, Tim Marks, Laurenthia Mesh, Thomas P. O'Connor, William E. Plowden Jr., Tom Riley, Floyd Rule, Larry Shaddles, Nancy Charnley Welty. On behalf of the student body and the Oglethorpe Alumni Association, for your steadfast commitment to Oglethorpe University, we honor each of you today with this bronze medallion engraved with the original Oglethorpe crest. This medallion was created especially for our Golden Petrel members. We hope that you will cherish the Golden Petrel medallion and wear it proudly at other Oglethorpe University functions and future Golden Petrel ceremonies. Please join me in applauding our Golden Petrels one more time. Thank you. You may be seated.
Thank you, Chris, and congratulations to all of you who mean so much to us and who have left a legacy of commitment and service. A traditional feature of our commencement ceremony has been a presentation by members of the senior class. And this year, Cale Coppage will speak on behalf of traditional students, followed by Kathy Lee, who will give us insight from the vantage point of a non-traditional student. Cale, who is the president of the senior class, hails from Alabama, is graduating today cum laude with a major in philosophy. Cale.
Greetings, fellow graduates. As I am also graduating, I feel like I know what I'm talking about when I say congratulations. You earned every credit hour it took to get here today. In traditional commencement fashion, I, as the senior class president, am tasked with giving a speech on behalf of the students who came to Oglethorpe University and had a traditional college experience. But there are a couple assumptions being made here that I think inaccurately characterize the past 4 years we just went through. These assumptions come from the word traditional. I am graduating with a degree in philosophy, so you'll have to forgive me when I ask the question, what does it mean for something to be traditional? A couple things come to mind. We graduated high school in 2013. We came to Oglethorpe, picked a major or two, went to class, and now, after 8 semesters, we're graduating. That's the traditional college experience. It's like a color by numbers of our lives that was made long before we even knew what college we wanted to attend. But I don't think my experience has been anything other than absolutely unique to me. It's trendy nowadays for people and the internet to tell you that you aren't special, and every unique thought you ever had or will ever have has already been had by thousands of people before you. I say these internet people are wrong about you. I say that our college experience has been unique to all of us, and as a result, we each have very different perspectives on the world. We began our college experience 4 years ago. We were already on track to have the traditional experience. But the traditional experience doesn't happen. We don't have our experiences until it happens to us. And no one can tell you exactly how it'll happen or how it will affect you. The perspective that you have on the world and the perspective I have on the world are totally different. A couple key factors really shape the perspective that we're leaving here today with. The first one is the perspective that we came here with. Some of us have similar backgrounds, like a similar social class, our race or our heritage, where we came from, the amount of affection or money that our parents gave us, etc. For me, and I'm guessing the same is true for most of you, I found that my background was just a starting position. From that position, I learned, I grew, I matured, I made mistakes, I regressed, and most importantly, I changed. I don't think any of us would say that we're the same person that we are now as when we came here as freshmen, and I don't think any of us would say that that's a bad thing. Where we came from influences what challenges us, what makes us uncomfortable, and what makes us take an introspective look at ourselves and what we believe and where we fit into this world. These challenges are different for all of us. One of my strengths may be your weakness, and one of your weaknesses may be my strength. Another factor that has shaped our perspective is the thing that we all came here for, the classes. As a philosophy major, I had my beliefs challenged constantly. I'd learn a new theory and think it was pretty neat, and then maybe it even gave me some insight into how the world works. But then I'd be flooded with counterexamples and critiques and new arguments that sounded just as appealing while favoring the exact opposite. And within 90 minutes, the only thing that I knew was that I actually didn't know anything. If you didn't have the pleasure of taking a course or two with Dr. Belcher or Dr. Prince Hooley, then you might not have had so many existential crises. But you still learn new ideas, each one valid, and some of them strike us as being intriguing or curious. Maybe it was a biology class that gave us a new idea about the nature of life. Maybe it was a Core 200 class that caused us to see civil society differently. Maybe taking a theater course pushed us to empathize with someone we had never met. Maybe we just had a brilliant professor who gave us a new way to think about some of the same ideas we had when we were kids. The last major factor that has helped shape our perspective is how we spent our time outside the classroom, which was a lot of time considering we were only in class for typically 12 hours a week. Maybe you just spent all your free time sleeping. If you didn't, then you had experiences. We couldn't get through college without making friends. Things happened that caused us to sympathize with them, and they in turn sympathized with us. We had a little community, and we built a family for ourselves out of the people that we liked and we would text memes to. I became very close with several of my friends, which hadn't really happened to me before college. Remember what I said about not really liking yourself in high school? It's been my experience that when I said people are happy about not still being, It's been my experience that my friends can make my bad situations better and terrible situations not so unbearable. Mundane activities like grocery shopping, if I ever had the money, became fun and exciting. Things like Dead Days Eve and Senior Week became lifelong memories. Think about the things you did and learned during your time here, and think about the person you are now compared to the person you were when you were a freshman. Could you or anyone have predicted it? If there were a mold for a traditional college experience, then none of us would fit it. None of us had the same experience here. Maybe you're glad you're finally graduating, maybe you don't want to leave, maybe you're conflicted, or maybe you're just ready for my speech to be over. We're leaving today with a perspective on life and this world that is different from the person sitting next to us. We have a subjectivity that is valuable, and we know what it's like to be us, and nobody else does. Our minds are full of education, and we're about to be released into the world. We'll disperse and maybe move away, but we'll take with us our experiences that are not traditional. We are people the likes of which this world has never seen. Use your subjectivity, build and then rebuild yourself every day. You are someone who has never been and never will be again. Value the things that have made you who you are. You are beautiful, free, and finally graduating college. Thank you.
Thank you, Cale. And now speaking on behalf of our non-traditional students, although maybe after Cale's talk we're going to have to come up with a different word, is Kathy Lee, who's graduating today with a degree in Communication and Rhetoric Studies with a minor in Business. She has worked as a program director for The Journey, a substance dependency and behavioral program in the wilderness in Utah. She's volunteered in Phnom Penh, Cambodia for 19 months with Operation Smile. And while here as a student, she has served as president of our chapter of the National Society of Leadership and Success. And just this last Thursday, Kathy learned that she will be working at Porsche North America. Kathy, will you come to the podium?
Right. Good morning, faculty, staff, guests, family, and friends. It is with great pleasure to be gathered here today to honor, recognize, and celebrate Oglethorpe's class of 2017. My name is Kathy Lee, and I'm ecstatic to be here today to represent the adult degree program. Today, I would like to make 3 points in hopes that you can continue to reflect throughout your life the importance of my message. I will be talking about the value of education, opportunity, and lifelong learning. Those of you who know me know that I'm a storyteller. What better way to convey my message than an illustration of a tale? With the current global issues we are seeing in our lifetime, I find it appropriate to share my mother's story. If I can have my mother stand up, oh, she's already standing up. Hi, Mom. She's right there. This is my mother, Lai Kim Lee. She is barely 4'10" and weighs 91 pounds on a good day. The setting takes place toward the end of the Vietnam War in the late 1970s, and my mother is 18 years old. This story begins with a man who bought a boat. With his new purchase, he needed to hire someone who can drive it. The owner said that the new driver is allowed to have passengers of his choosing on the boat with him. My uncle had made contact with this new driver and paid 3 gold bars each for his wife, his sister-in-law, who happens to be my mother, and for himself to flee the war-ridden country. My mother traveled 3 days to reach the coast. She would hike through the jungle at night and hide from the communist party by day. On the day she reached the coast, the boat that my mom had anticipated was more of a mere raft with a small motor. This boat eventually loaded 73 people and began going out into the open sea. Within 20 minutes of their trip, the motor died. The driver pulled out a blanket and created a sail. During the day, they would sail aimlessly, unsure of where they were going. By night, the driver looked to the stars to navigate the boat. The group endured large waves, the size of buildings, that carried them along, and my mother was sure she was going to die, as she did not know how to swim. A couple of days later, a fishing boat finally reached the poor little raft. It, however, was not a welcome of open arms. They were Thai pirates there to raid the boat. The pirates stole all of their valuables and cast them back into the sea. Another boat came along several hours later, and they too were there to rob the refugees. This time at gunpoint, the pirates made everyone get off the raft and board their ship. They forced the men to go to the top of the deck of the boat and the women to go down to the hole, which is located at the bottom of the boat. The pirates took everything the escapees had, including the provisions they brought with them. They then, like the first, released them into the water. Then a third boat came. Although they too were pirates there to rob them, my mother said they were nicer than the first two. They had mercy on them and told them where to sail towards. The small boat finally hit land in the middle of the night, and policemen in Thailand took my mom and her siblings to a refugee camp. There, my mother attempted to learn how to speak English. They were one of the lucky ones and only stayed there for 3 months. They were given a chance to choose where they would like to live. They had choices from Australia to France to Japan. They decided on America. My mother knew this was the best choice for them at the time. When they were brought to America, they arrived in Atlanta around this time of year, 40 years ago, with hardly anything to their name. Due to an error of a U.S. official and because of my mother's young looks, they thought my mother was only 12 years old, when in fact she was 18. After a short debate, they settled for the age of 16. Now my mother had turned back the hands of time. She enrolled into high school. Here was my mother. She had just turned 19 and enrolled in her junior year of high school. My mother graduated from North Fulton High School in 1979 at the age of 21. So for you super seniors out there, and all you ADP graduates, don't feel bad about how long it took you to complete school. It took my mother 7 years to finish high school. So let's look at my 3 points again: the value of an education, opportunity, and lifelong learning. My mother knew the value of receiving an education and how that was a factor in changing the course of our lives. Regardless of how long it takes to complete an education, know that we have all endured to the end to be here today. At a young age, my mother had instilled in all of my siblings and I the importance of learning. Wherever life may lead you, remember to reflect on the education that you had here in order to lead and serve. Edmund Burke said, "The only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good men to do nothing." Second, opportunity. My mother and her siblings seized the opportunity to flee the country, receive an education, and raise their children in our free land. Do not pass up an opportunity if you know there's something more fulfilling at the other end, so take risks. There will be times when things may be a little overwhelming, tough, and unbearable. Remember, these moments are opportunities to learn. Finally, lifelong learning. Although we are here today to be recognized for our accomplishments, I offer a plea to let this not be the end. In life, there's always something to learn, to question, and to teach. Just because we are at the end of our undergrad career, let it not be the end of us pursuing knowledge. I would like to thank my mother for her example and her courage to take risks. I would like to also thank the adults in my life, my Yihai and Joe, my aunt and uncle, who have helped gear me in the direction of who I am today. Also, to support my siblings, Linda, Ellen, Kevin, my cousins, John and Marissa, and for Chris, I would not be as motivated to give back or to succeed. Finally, I would like to also extend my gratitude to the wonderful faculty, staff, and administration for giving me the guidance and opportunity to reach my potential, especially Cecil and Shane. Thank you again, and congratulations, class of 2017.
Thank you, Kathy, for that story, for that American story. I want to thank the entire class of 2017 for their donation to our future Center for Science and Innovation, which will, in a year, next year's graduation, we will begin to see the bones of it rise. All the students that contributed, and I think we've got over 65% of the senior class, are wearing black and gold cords. So thank you for your contribution. I call on the president of the Oglethorpe University Alumni Association, Chris Rylands, the class of 2001.
Thank you, Dr. Shaw. Good morning, everyone. It is my honor to serve as president of the Alumni Board. On behalf of our 10,000 or so active alumni, it is my distinct privilege to welcome you, the class of 2017, as the newest members of the Oglethorpe University Alumni Association. To echo what many others have said, congratulations to you and especially to your families as well. As you graduate, you are automatically a member of our National Alumni Association, and you represent this university wherever you may go and whatever you may do. As you make your way in the world outside the Ogle bubble, know that you are always welcome to come home to this campus, and we hope that you will. Your family, your professors, the staff, the trustees, and Oglethorpe alumni, among many others, have all contributed in various ways to help make our alma mater what it is today, and those contributions have helped shape your education here. Our alumni participate in the life of the university in various ways, by recommending internships to Oglethorpe, by serving on career panels or as mentors, interviewing prospective students. Some of you may have been interviewed at the JEO competition by alums, and giving financially, just to name a few. They give in these ways because of the love they have for this institution, a love that I hope each of you share and will continue to foster. So I humbly ask that you please continue to grow the love that we all have for this university through your involvement as an alum. Join the Young Alumni Club. Connect with the Alumni Association on its various social media channels. Come visit the alumni office on the second floor of Lupton. People tell me they can't find it, so I put that in here so you would know where it was. Come back for Alumni Weekend and attend other events. We have them here and we have them in various cities across the U.S. and the world. If your company offers internships, let Oglethorpe know. The important thing, stay connected. It is only through all of us deepening our connections to Oglethorpe and with each other that we can make this university, each of our degrees, and our shared experience the most they can possibly be. With that, I ask all of those graduating today who are wearing their class rings to now turn the ring with the university coat of arms facing outward so that the coat of arms and the university's name are easily seen by all those you meet as evidence of your achievement and lifelong connection to Oglethorpe University. And to all of the class of 2017, your success is Oglethorpe's success, so may you have much of it. Again, I congratulate our graduates on this special day.
Thank you, Chris. We will now hear one of our award-winning seniors, Catherine Carey, sing for us America the Beautiful. Wow. Thank you, Catherine. We now come to the part of the program that is a special one and of great pleasure. I'm going to ask Comer Yates to join me at the podium. Comer is part of a long legacy of leadership and giving back in Atlanta. Today we recognize him for the role he has played in changing how we think and how we teach and how we reach children facing challenges. And we are also pleased to have his wife, Sally Yates, read the honorary degree citation for Comer. So we're going to hood you. As always happens, two short guys and a tall honorary degree recipient.
President Shaw, thank you for the privilege of reading Oglethorpe's citation, presenting an honorary degree to my husband, my hero, Comer Yates. Champion of education and literacy for all persons, innovative teacher of teachers, and respected voice for those who have none. Your leadership in serving the children of Georgia and the country embodies the Oglethorpe ideal to make a life, make a living, and make a difference. As executive director of the Atlanta Speech School for almost 19 years, your team has built one of the most comprehensive language and literacy centers in the nation. Your work has transcended Atlanta and today serves more than 17,000 teachers in the United States and around the globe. The Rollins Cox campus, launched under your guidance by the Atlanta Speech School, provides free, research-based training to all teachers, anywhere at no charge, moving the world closer to your mission to empower and support all who guide and work with children, and to raise up great readers and able citizens. In the battle against the epidemic of illiteracy, you have echoed the words of Frederick Douglass from coast to coast. Once you learn to read, you will be forever free. You have worked tirelessly to transform the educational system for one of our most vulnerable populations, serving as the chair of the Georgia Commission on Hearing Impaired and Deaf Persons, co-chair for the Georgia Pathway to Language and Literacy, cabinet member of Get Georgia Reading, and associate on the state's commissioner's leadership team for Georgia's Brain Trust for Babies, aligning resources in an effort to achieve the goal that by 2020, every child in Georgia reads proficiently by 3rd grade, a goal only 1/3 of the nation's children achieve. Your work is combating poverty by increasing literacy. Earning a bachelor's degree and a Juris Doctorate from Emory University, you're a member of the Order of the Coif, ODK, and Order of the Barristers. An attorney by trade, practicing law for 15 years, you're a recipient of the Distinguished Service Award from the Atlanta Bar Association. A former high school teacher, you received the WXIA Community Service Award for 2 decades of volunteering with students at Thurl High School and Atlanta Public School. You have served as president of the Atlanta Area Association of Independent Schools and president of the board of Camp Twin Lakes, a camp for children with serious illnesses and life challenges. Leading by example, you personify a life of passionate and humble leadership and service to others. In recognition of your achievements in education, I present, with the endorsement of the Oglethorpe University faculty and the Board of Trustees, Comer Yates for the degree of Doctors of Law, honoris causa, signed by Lawrence Shaw, President, and Timothy Tsopoulos, Chair of the Board of Trustees. And I can tell you from personal experience, he's all of that and more.
Thank you, sir. By the authority vested in me by the Charter and the Board of Trustees, I hereby confer on you the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa, with all the honors, privileges, and responsibilities thereto appertaining.
Hello, everybody. What a morning. President Shaw, graduates, families, and friends and faculty, it is such a privilege to be here with you today. I'm grateful for receiving the honor of this degree. And I should note that I'm a great admirer of your university, your mission, your president, and graduate Gustavo Martinez. We can clap for Gustavo, right? I'm also a longtime fan. I grew up in Brookhaven and spent many childhood nights in your field house in the 1960s watching really good Oglethorpe basketball teams win a lot of games. And also when I was a teacher and I needed continuing course credit to maintain my certification, I came here one summer for 2 courses, and my wonderful classmates who were more experienced and competent than me took pity on me and helped me get through and get ready to continue my teaching career. Well, what a spot I'm in today. Graduates, I am literally standing between you and the rest of your lives. No pressure. This better be good. In fact, it better be my best. If it's going to match the graduates' accomplishments and efforts, if it's going to match the sacrifices and support of their families, and if it's going to match the commitment of your professors and this university for you to discover the best of yourselves while you are here. And I'll offer my perspective about what lies on the other side of these 12 minutes. For you to decide whether or not to take or leave what I'm getting ready to say, I feel honestly like I need to share a bit more of context beyond the generous words that Sally just read on this citation. 43 years ago, I was sitting in your spot, graduating from Emory following a less than mediocre college career. I'd struggled academically and personally. Beginning my freshman year, I'd experienced what are now described as panic attacks. For about 2 years, I had continuing episodes of thinking that I was having a heart attack and fearing each time that I was drawing my last breath. The irony is not lost on me after all these years. Later, I'm the commencement speaker at an institution that your graduate, Sidney Lanier, described as a college of the heart. Well, as I think about that time and that day of graduation, I never could have imagined what life had in store for me, like today. And I promise it will have in store for you countless breathtaking moments and events that will make your heart soar and sing and laugh in recognition of incredible power and the gift of the human spirit and experience. Honesty also requires me to say that there have been many other moments that have revealed the frailties of the human spirit, beginning with my own and extending to witnessing the devastating consequences when we fail to keep the fundamental American promise of equal opportunity and justice for all. From my perspective, in many ways, how we respond in these moments when these frailties are exposed ends up being defining for us. But the great news is that these moments provide us with constant opportunities, individually and collectively, to be better, kinder, and more courageous. Maybe the best way to make my point is describe 3 of these moments that have been transformative to me. Now, I'm not going to tell you about the ones that are indescribable. Our children's births, my parents' deaths. But as a tip, if your wife or your partner has just had y'all's baby and she's being wheeled back to the hospital room, don't say something like, "That wasn't as hard as I thought it was going to be." Heard somebody did that. Anyway, well, here goes with the moments. After college, having always wanted to be a teacher ever since Ms. Ratchford's 5th grade class, I became a high school social studies teacher and soccer coach in Rome, Georgia. That first week, armed with superficial knowledge of American history, Columbus's 3 ships barely within my grasp, and continuing my college diet of Coca-Cola for breakfast, and charged with instruction of 20 juniors and seniors for 50 minutes, 5 times a day, time seemed to stand still. I'm sure that week was even more brutal for my students. Before those 5 disastrous days, I thought I'd understood my responsibilities, fueled by numerous pep talks to myself. I can't be their friend. I've got to be the adult in the room. Well, that weekend, Saturday afternoon to be exact, while in a state of total exhaustion, it dawned on me that these young people were really counting on me. What I did in class, and more importantly, what I did to prepare for class, mattered to them. Most painfully, as I'd limped through that first week of school, covering the content at an inch-deep level, I had seen myself in the confused looks and gaze stares on the students' faces who were never going to learn this material on their own. Suddenly, I realized I actually had a chance for the first time in my life to make a difference. And almost immediately, as a matter of self-preservation as well, I finally learned how to study. And with incredible material that had escaped my attention in the first few laps through it as a student, I was ready to go. No wonder my students thought I was a bit crazed as I talked about how in the world did Abraham Lincoln, born to 2 illiterate parents, born in a wilderness of literacy, become our nation's most literate citizen, shaking America's conscience with his words. And then I tried to imitate him as I imagined his various methods of delivery. If slavery is wrong, nothing is wrong. Or, whenever I hear someone arguing for slavery, I feel a strong impulse to see it tried on him personally. Those 5 years were life-changing for me, and for decades, I wasn't able to put that reason into words until I came across the words of someone else, Gandhi, who said, "The best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service to others." One breath taken. Next, I've been very lucky to be involved with Camp Twin Lakes, founded by my friend Doug Hurt since we opened in 1993. It serves children with serious illnesses and other life's challenges at our 3 sites each week during the summer. Groups of children with specific conditions like brain injury, cancer, heart disease, sickle cell, burn victims attend a sleepaway camp, doing archery, riding horses, canoeing, singing and dancing camp songs, and having talent shows. For years, whenever I talked about Camp Twin Lakes, I talked about it being a place where even Georgia's most fragile children had the opportunity to experience a week of childhood, when so much of childhood had been stolen from them. It also provided a week of respite for their parents, who acted as their parents and caregivers the other 51 weeks a year. It was the only week for the children not to be special, to be with children who are facing those same challenges. And while camp is that and so many other things, and they're all incredibly powerful, 2 young women made me realize on a summer afternoon in 2006 that it's so much more. I was walking around camp that afternoon with our director, and we went to the high ropes course. There we found a teenage girl with cancer about one-third the way up a very shaky ladder, crying and begging to come down. It turned out that she had been at camp the previous summer when her cancer was in remission, and this had been her favorite activity. Her cancer had now returned, and she was on chemotherapy, but she had been motivated all summer and made it through the chemotherapy thinking about getting to the top of that ladder again. Well, now she appeared defeated, and no amount of encouragement from our staff member was enough. I turned my head as I felt as if I were intruding on this moment for her. All of a sudden, I heard another young woman, a volunteer, screaming, "Come on, you're beating cancer. You can make it up this ladder. You're going to make it up this ladder." The girl pleaded again to come down. I turned around, and the volunteer had gotten off the bench, had grabbed the bottom of the ladder, and was telling her that she wasn't going to let her come down. It went this way for no telling how long. It somehow, it ended with the girl collapsing on the top of the platform, crying and laughing, and all of us who watched doing the same. But actually, there was no somehow to this moment at all. It happened because the volunteer holding the ladder was standing on one leg, with her other one lost to cancer when she was a child, a former camper herself. On the drive back to Atlanta, I kept thinking, how would I miss something so obvious after all these years? We weren't serving Georgia's weakest children. We were responsible for its most powerful children. Our stewardship demanded that we meet children when they arrived, viewed too long by others, and viewed too often by themselves as patients or subjects, and do everything possible over the next 6 days to make sure they were on a path to being servants and leaders in ways that the rest of us could only hope for. In other words, our promise to the camper was not met when she reached the top of the ropes course that day, but when she one day, literally or figuratively, was at the bottom of the ladder for another child, carrying the same unimaginable, immeasurable strength and moral authority as the volunteer who had willed her to the top of that ladder. After this moment, and in that car, I couldn't help but think back to my history teaching and recall our president who delivered a timeless and timely truth for us today. The only thing we have to fear is fear itself. It's no coincidence that Franklin Roosevelt spoke those words from a wheelchair, suffering from paralyzing polio that was a constant threat to his survival. He knew true fear in every moment, not the fear by which we have allowed ourselves to be exploited in recent years and to become less than our best selves with each other as a result. Second breath taken. Finally, I witnessed this past Monday, along with millions of other people, a moment, 3 hours, in which a public servant brought to life what it means and looks like to honor unconditionally her oath to defend the laws and people of the country. Demonstrating that such service is not one of sacrifice, but one of greatest privilege. In 1989, when Sally told a friend who had been in the Justice Department that she had accepted a position as Assistant United States Attorney, he said that she could not imagine the overwhelming sense of pride that she would have the first time that she appeared in court and stood up and announced, "Ready for the people of the United States, Your Honor." And while technically Sally was sworn in on Monday as a citizen witness, the voice and words I heard 27 years later were all offered on behalf of the people of the United States. Third breath taken. Well, those are my moments. You should have seen my original brainstorm list in preparation for today. They caused me to smile, tear up, and on one occasion, laugh hysterically into my computer screen. It made me send out to Facebook in search of long-lost friends, classmates, students, and players. You're going to have thousands of these moments, like the embraces of your families that are getting ready to happen in just a few minutes, because they are part of the incredible gift of the human experience. Some others will appear to seem to come out of nowhere, but they will have occurred when you abandon the futile goal of surviving your own life and make your best effort to give your heart to your calling. As theologian Frederick Buechner describes, that will happen, and when you share and bind yourself with others to that purpose and place where your greatest joy meets the world's deepest need. And if that seems too lofty, a bit daunting, and perhaps a long way off, just keep in mind something else that carries me through my many less than notable moments. We're all a work in progress. And speaking of progress, now it's your turn, and clearly time for me to get out of your way, just like the repair on I-85 bridge. So I so wish all the best to each of you in your travels ahead. It would be my great joy if our paths crossed once again and that you would share one of your moments with me. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Comer. We are now ready to begin awarding degrees and diplomas to our students. Dr. Sharfin, will you come forward to present the candidates? Chair Tassopoulos, will you join me in the presentation of the diplomas to our graduates?
As I call a graduate's name, I will indicate that he or she is graduating cum laude. That means that a cumulative grade point average of 3.5 or higher out of 4 has been achieved. Magna cum laude, 3.7. Summa cum laude, the highest honor, designates a graduate has achieved 3.9 or higher on a scale of 4. This year we have 10 students who are graduating with honors. They have successfully completed our honors program, which includes the writing of a thesis under the direction of a faculty advisor. We'll name each student's honors program faculty advisor who will come to the platform to hood his or her graduate. Dr. Sarah Terry, director of the honors program, will assist in hooding. If a graduate is not here, I will read their name in absentia. And one logistical note to excited parents and friends. Our Office of University Communications has employed a professional photographer to photograph each graduate twice as diplomas are awarded and as each graduate exits the stage. There are areas on either side of the platform from which you may take pictures, but we respectfully ask that you please remain behind the roping to allow the professionals to take photos so the flow of students is not interrupted as they exit the stage. Now, will the candidates for Bachelor of Arts degree please rise? President Shaw. We'll give them an applause, that's okay. The faculty enthusiastically recommends these candidates for the Bachelor of Arts degree.
By the authority vested in me by the Charter and the Board of Trustees, I hereby confer on you the Bachelor of Arts degree with all the honors, privileges, and responsibilities thereto appertaining.
Please be seated. Will the candidates for the Bachelor of Arts in Liberal Studies degree please rise? Congratulations. President Shaw, the faculty recommends these candidates for the Bachelor of Arts in Liberal Studies degree.
Enthusiastically as well, I presume. By the authority vested in me by the Charter and the Board of Trustees, I hereby confer on you the Bachelor of Arts in Liberal Studies degree with all the honors, privileges, and responsibilities thereto appertaining.
Please be seated. Will the candidates for the Bachelor of Business Administration degree please rise? President Shaw, the faculty enthusiastically recommends these candidates for the Bachelor of Business Administration degree.
By the authority vested in me by the Charter and the Board of Trustees, I hereby confer on you the Bachelor of Business Administration degree with all the honors, privileges, and responsibilities thereto appertaining.
Please be seated. Will the candidates for the Bachelor of Science degree please rise? President Shaw, the faculty earnestly recommends these candidates for the Bachelor of Science degree.
By the authority vested in me by the Charter and the Board of Trustees, I hereby confer on you the Bachelor of Science degree with all the honors, privileges, responsibilities thereto appertaining.
Please be seated. Okay, just a note before we start. I understand we have had some difficulty in getting in order, which means we perhaps need to add a tag to make a life, make a living, make a difference, and make a line. But I'm going to ask the first two rows only for the Bachelor of Arts degree to please rise and come forward. The remaining candidates should remain seated until instructed otherwise by our marshals, who will attempt to get you into the right order. If for some reason that you come across and get a diploma that isn't yours, if you like it, you can keep it. If not, you can trade. Alvi Ahmed in absentia, Olayinka Ajayi. Amanda Lynn Ake, cum laude. Alexandra L. Armbruster, summa cum laude. Alexandra will be hooded by Dr. Sarah Terry. Catherine Elizabeth Barber, magna cum laude. Sarah Elizabeth Vaughn, and Sarah will be hooded by Dr. Stephen Hirschler. Chervais Bell. Jack R. Bishop. Priyanka Bose, summa cum laude. Kayla Leanne Brantley. Cassandra Yadira Brayton. Ryan Evans Brennan. Brianna P. Wainrostro. Rachel Ann Waintello, magna cum laude. Gavin Perez Canto Caffrey in absentia. Catherine Keegan Carey, summa cum laude. Shanice Wendella Jasmine Chesney. Reed Erickson Cole. Cale Hawes Coppage, cum laude. Daniel Kevin Crowley III. Anna Catherine D'Alessandro. Kayla Nicole Davis. Carl Dickey, magna cum laude. Evan P. Drew, magna cum laude, and Evan will be hooded by Dr. Sarah Terry. Kelly Dutton. Joshua Eidelman in absentia, Bailey Fabricus. Christopher Michael Fernandez. Kellen M. Flatt. Jordan Amira Franklin. Francesca Sofia Garcia Baletta. Franklin Amberly Gomez Garcia. Maytal Godfried, magna cum laude. Caitlin Thompson Graham, in absentia. Brianna Akira Joy Grant. Deidre Diane Irby. Jordan Bakote Jackson. Hannah Elise Jacobs. Jasmine Alexis Jakes, in absentia. Ebony Christina Johnson, cum laude. Joseph Edward Johnson. Kristen Michelle Kennebrew. Abigail Taylor Kreisinger, summa cum laude. Hannah Lauren Kuhn. Jackson S. Lilly. Carrie Ann Elizabeth Liner. Karina Martinez Ojita. William John Mattis. Shannon Patrice McMickens. Jordan K. Michaels. Kyla Amari Murray, cum laude. Jose Carlos Asuna Diaz. Aditya Prem, summa cum laude. Aditya's parents live in India, and they could not make it here. They have not seen him for 4 years, but they are watching. So if you could give Aditya a big round of applause for his parents in India. Peter Thomas Ramsey. Olivia Grayson Reingold, cum laude. Catherine Lee Rice, cum laude. Zachary T. Roberts, cum laude, and Zachary will be hooded by Dr. Brad Smith. Rachel Elizabeth Rowler, summa cum laude. Paula Jane Santa Cruz. Andre J. Smith. Andrew Paul Span, cum laude. Hayden Elizabeth Speece. Taryn Spires. Leah Rosario Tonko. Catherine M. Townsend. Samuel Jean Traxler. Amanda Allen Turner, cum laude. Sarah G. Wampler, summa cum laude, and Sarah will be hooded by Dr. Brad Smith. Joshua Christopher Wheeler. Benjamin Ryan Williams. Morgan L. Williams. Lindsay Gunter Wills, magna cum laude. Christopher Sean Wilson. Taylor Cameron Bone in absentia, Alyssa Brianne Daly, cum laude. Quatez Dutch. Catherine Etheridge. Jacqueline Noble Foster. Christina Lee Gibson. Kathy Linda Lee, cum laude. Martha Ann Murphy. George Alfred Shepard, Jr. Romanica Latrice Stevens. Kyle Tobias. Catherine E. Bowman in absentia, Sharon McNeil Boyd. Shane Sia Brownell, cum laude. Travis David Edmondson in absentia, Catherine A. Graham. Tavares Hurd in absentia, Alan Scott Ladd. Richard Paul Taylor Lyons, magna cum laude. Brian Harrison Miller in absentia, Zena Scaff, magna cum laude. Tony Gerald Admonson, Jr. Micah Hopkins Aiken. Lama Abdullah Al-Asri in absentia, Yasmin Miriam Abdel Alim, cum laude. Anna Lourdes Almeida Rojo, magna cum laude. Vanetta Stefanova Bacheva. Juan Carlos Benavides in absentia, Tyler Lohmeyer Blamble. Dallas Imani Bolden. Stephanie Bauer, summa cum laude. Stephanie will be hooded by Dr. Justin Wise. Juliana Braga. Danelle Lachey Carroll. Laura Stefania Castellanos, cum laude. Elias Adalberto Castro, magna cum laude. Elias will be hooded by Dr. Karen Schmeichel. Rigo Cisneros. Marie Andrea Cruzado Janot. Kendall Elise Culpepper. Emma Rose Dalton. Trevor G. Davis. Lydia Sadeth Diaz Rincon. Grace Baby Darling Jacoto. Miranda Lee Evans, cum laude. Miranda will be hooded by Dr. Justin Wise. Austin J. Ferlita. Carson Lewis Fleischman. Diego Flores. Jada Zane Foote. Elizabeth Mackenzie Fortson. Lachey Foster Claxon in absentia, Alexis Brianna Gabriel. Tani Sue Acacia Gazada. Joseph Donati Goodwin in absentia, Stella Isabella Harney. Khadija Aliyah Hassan. Brenda Hernandez. Rebecca Sarah Catherine Helliger. Kayla Nicole Hill. Shauna Devin Hopkins. Michelle Huang, magna cum laude. Aaliyah Hudson. Alan Donaldo Huerta Santillon. Brittany Denise Halsey, magna cum laude. Kelsey L. Hurt, cum laude. Kelly Marie Jacobson, summa cum laude. Kelly will be hooded by Dr. Nick Marr. Claudia Batata Cancella, cum laude. Kobe Yair Lavut. Weston Cato Lendon in absentia, Wendy Lescott. Gian Piero Lali. Leonardo Lopez Lopez. Alan Jose Luvanos in absentia, Joshua P. Maley, summa cum laude. David B. Maynor. Lisbeth Manzano Puente. Gustavo E. Martinez Cortez. Lauren Markel McGranahan. Avery Hudson McKenna. Kerrigan Matthew McManigal. McKinley Mercer III. Reagan Lane Merriman, magna cum laude. Bradley Austin Miller. Macy Mackenzie Moreau, summa cum laude. Juan Esteban Moreno. Cheyenne Marie Muirfield. Darwin Bao Win, magna cum laude. Kayla Marie Nieves. Austin Norman. Jacob Northrup. Francisco Javier Osuna Diaz, cum laude. Deanna LaShawn Parker. Parth Patel in absentia, Andrew A. Patrick. Megan Simone Patterson. Eternity Perry. Gabrielle Lynn Pierce. Daniela Ramon, magna cum laude. Daniel Revelis in absentia, Colton L. Rogers. Taylor Alexandra Rucker. Michael Rulison, and Michael will be given his diploma by his father, Dr. Michael Rulison. Jason Claude Sayers in absentia, Justin M. Stossel. Hassan Salik Saeed, summa cum laude. Tristan Parker Toland. Kentaro Toyota in absentia, Spencer Chase Transu. Jacqueline Valente Ocampo. Lisa Bianca Vanderross. Jason Donald Vanderhorst, cum laude. Jacqueline Lee Weinberg, cum laude. Jacqueline will be hooded by Dr. Justin Wise. Ingrid Anna Wilcox. And Connor Segrist. Welcome. Please let's give one big round of applause and recognize these fabulous graduates, 2017.
Wonderful. Kale, would you join me on the stage? And class of 2017, would you rise, please? So 6 years ago, the class of 2011 established a new tradition with a tassel turn. So we're going to carry it forward again this year. I'm going to request a drum roll followed by a 3, 2, 1 countdown, and then we'll tell you to move your tassels. So you're going to move them from right to left. So if they're on the left side, put them on the right side. And you will follow Kale as they move. So may we have a drum roll? 3, 2, 1. You may be seated. Members of the Oglethorpe University faculty and staff provide intellectual guidance and services to our students on a daily basis. We are so proud of the faculty and staff and all are grateful to them. And our trustees, we've got many of our trustees here as well today. So would our faculty, staff, and trustees please stand and allow yourselves to be recognized? Thank you. So at the conclusion of our ceremony, which we are here, our faculty and trustees will recess first to form a receiving line behind you on the sidewalk between Lupton Hall, crossing over to Hurst Hall. The graduates of the class of 2017 are asked to proceed to the receiving line and visit with your friends and faculty then. Excuse me. We have refreshments that are set out under the tents in the back. We've also got recycling containers. If you want to grab your bottle and drop it into one of the recycling containers, we would appreciate that. In a moment, Dr. Ray and the Oglethorpe Commencement Chorale will lead us in singing our alma mater. The words are in your program. Please sing heartily, as this will be the last time you have the opportunity to do this until tonight when you're partying. Remain standing after the alma mater for the benediction, which will also be sung by the chorale. And then please remain at your seats until the marshal has escorted the platform party, the faculty, and graduates out of this area. Would you please now stand for the singing of the Oglethorpe alma mater?